Hey, brother.
Hey, Al.
And welcome everyone back to another episode of Siblings in Crime. I'm Allie Rossell.
And I'm Blake Murphy.
And just as it sounds, we are siblings who love true crime.
Yes, love it.
Love it, love it. As always, if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, follow, everything else. You know the drill. It's Siblings in Crime Pod on all platforms.
Yeah, and TikTok is now our number one most followed.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We almost have 200 followers on TikTok.
Oh, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for following that.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Well, this week, I want to say happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is on Thursday, so that's exciting. Also, Saturday's a big day in this family.
It's the biggest day.
Tell us why.
Ohio State plays the team up north.
The worst team there is. Exactly.
Yeah. We hate everyone in that state.
Correct.
I hate flying to that state.
So passionate. Well, anyways, that's what we got going on this week. And as always, this story is built from the most reliable facts available, with some elements slightly dramatized to enhance the flow of storytelling. So keep that in mind as we go through. But are you ready to dive right in?
I'm ready to dive in.
Cool. The search team moves in a tight formation down a remote logging road inside the Dawson Forest Wildlife Management Area. The air is sharp with early January cold, the sky dim under the dense canopy. No one is calling out. This isn't a wide area sweep. Investigators have been directed to check a specific location. About 15 yards off the road, something breaks the natural pattern of the forest floor. A patch of disturbed leaves. Broken branches that look placed, not fallen. An irregular shape beneath the debris. The team approaches carefully. When they pull back the top layer of branches, fabric appears first. A piece of clothing half buried in the leaves. Beneath it, pale skin. And then the unmistakable outline of a human body concealed under a rough covering of brush and debris. It is a woman. What becomes immediately apparent, even before the full scene is uncovered, is that the person responsible went to deliberate lengths to stop her from being identified. Her head has been removed. This is a homicide, carried out with significant force. There is no clear vehicle tracks around her, no drag marks, no trail indicating how she was brought into this section of the forest. It is isolated, quiet, and intentionally chosen. Meredith Emerson is a woman who did everything to prepare for the worst, and yet it was still not enough. And this is her story. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's roll. All right, New Year's morning, 2008. That's where we're starting today's story.
All right, 2008. Where were you?
I don't know. I was 11 years old. So I don't remember anything from when I was 11.
14?
Yeah.
So I was like 8th grade going into 9th grade?
Yeah. So you probably had a Razor phone or something of the sorts. A Blueberry. Wait, what's it called?
Chocolate.
Blackberry?
No.
Blackberry. That's what it's called.
I know, but I don't know.
What do you mean chocolate?
Yeah, it was a phone.
What? I've never heard of a chocolate phone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyways, while most of North Carolina, that's natural, North Georgia is still quiet after a night of partying, Meredith Hope Emerson is already moving through her small rental home in Beaufort, Georgia. You're telling me that's a chocolate?
Yeah.
I've seen that. I thought it was called a slide phone.
No.
Wow, news to me. Well, maybe Meredith had a chocolate phone. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But Meredith was not the type that she went out and partied on New Year's night like everybody else. She wanted to wake up early on New Year's Day, start her new year with a hike.
Mm.
I feel like I can't relate. I don't have a nightlife, but waking up early after a night of a holiday doesn't seem like something I'd be interested in, but I'm stoked that she is. She was gathering everything she needed for her winter hike. She had a water bottle, day pack, warm layers, all the things that she would need, especially Ella's leash.
Who's Ella?
Ella is her black lab. Has endless energy. She's running around. She's like, you know when we had dogs and we'd grab a leash and the dogs would go crazy because they know what's coming?
Yeah.
Ella seems like that. Like, Meredith would grab a leash.
Loves to run around and be outside.
And Ella's ready
That's
to go
cute.
on every adventure ever. Exactly. Hiking is something they do very often. So it's like not uncommon for people like, oh, where's Meredith? She's out on a hike with Ella.
Where is this? Where is she again? Where are they?
She's in Georgia.
Georgia.
In fact, she was a University of Georgia graduate. She was fluent in French. She worked,
Go Dogs!
Yeah, there you go. She works in the tech world. She practices martial arts. Like, she's got a lot going for her.
Mm-hmm.
She spends most of her weekends outside. Her family describes her as grounded and bright. Her friends say she's fun and radiant. I'm like, those are great descriptions. I want to be described like that. But she was born on June 20th, 1983, and so she was just 24 years old at the time of our story today. Okay. The plan for the day is simple. Start the new year with a hike on Blood Mountain, one of the most popular and scenic points along the Appalachian Trail.
That mountain sounds scary.
I know. I was like, why would you call it Blood Mountain? That's like the
Yeah.
most haunting thing I've ever heard. Of course, it's the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, that place is crazy.
Yeah, how can, like the most horrible things ever happen on that trail? I'm
I
convinced.
think it's just super long, so like
The
it's
chances
bound
are
to
high.
be, yeah, like a bunch of hikers on it, so bound to be some bad things to happen.
That's fair. That makes sense.
Or it's haunted.
Dun dun dun.
I think it's haunted.
Okay, I agree. She loads Ella into her 1995 Chevy Cavalier and starts the engine, pulls out into the quiet morning streets. By late morning, she pulls into the mountain parking area near the Byron Herbert Reese trailhead.
Are you gonna tell me when to guess?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
It's actually in like 2 seconds. I'm not going to give you
cool.
much information. Because really what she does, she parks. There's already several people there. It's like holiday hikers. There's a lot of couples, families, and of course a lot of people that are walking their own dogs as well. So Meredith steps out. She grabs her dog, and they start up on the trail. And this is where I said, you may guess, but I haven't given you a lot of information.
All right, I'll guess.
So you can kind of imagine where this is going from the start. I gave you quite the intro.
Mm-hmm.
While you write that down, let me tell you some more. As the trail narrows and bends toward rocky outcrops, hikers occasionally pass heading the opposite direction. It's obviously a very common thing. When you're hiking, you see them either pass you or they come by you. It's not uncommon to see hikers a couple times, maybe once, max twice. It'd be very shocking to see somebody a third time on a hike. So that's kind of what's going on with Meredith at this time. She does not know, though, that one of the people on this mountain is paying closer attention to her than she realizes. She hikes upward, adjusting her pack strap, pausing briefly to give Ella some water, then continuing deeper into the quiet winter forest. And this is where her day begins, routine, peaceful, familiar. And somewhere on the same trail, moving at a pace that keeps her just within view, someone else is beginning their day too. So you have your answer logged in?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Hikers spread out naturally along the route, as they do. As the trail tightens into a quieter stretch, fewer hikers are passing by. Makes sense. The forest kind of starts closing in. It becomes like a one-lane trail. And so you're not really seeing anyone in this area. And this is where the man closes the distance. He approaches Meredith directly. What begins as an ordinary trail small talk. Like,
Stalker.
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 Stalker. Stalker. There should be like an alerts like that. What begins as like the normal like, good day, like the sly wave or whatever, he steps in front of her, blocking the path, and pulls a baton-like tool on her.
A baton?
Yeah, like a police baton thing,
Yeah.
like those type of sticks. Weird choice of tool.
Is he a police officer?
Dun, dun, dun. We shall see. The threat is obviously immediate. Meredith, she's got her martial arts background. She's a fighting girl. She put up a fight big time. The struggle happens just off the trail. It's violent, it's fast, chaotic. So leaves, dirt, everything's scattered. Like items are marked or are dropped. The dog's barking and pulling. And what's interesting to me is that I feel like I don't know if I would notice that there was like a confrontation on a dirt path. Mm-hmm. But evidently there was quite the fight, because when they come across this scene, there was like dirt, skid, everything. It was like, oh, something happened here. It wasn't like, oh, a hiker tripped. So there's obvious signs of a struggle. But no matter how hard Meredith fought, the man overpowers her. He forces her off the main path, moving her downhill into a more concealed section of the woods. So there are no hikers close enough to hear what's going on, to see what's happening. And once he has her away from the trail, he restrains her and keeps control of Ella as well. One thing about this guy, he's a dog lover. Ella is like cherished to him for some reason.
That's creepy.
Yeah, very weird. From there, he leads her and her dog through the trees toward a vehicle that he parked off on like a Forest Service road. That's like, it's isolated. If you don't know it's there, a hiker's just not going to stumble upon it. It's in the back. The van ends up leaving the mountain. Meredith's own car is still sitting at the trailhead, exactly where she left it. It's locked, it's untouched, giving no sign of what happened in the woods above it. Back on the mountain, hikers continue their New Year's Day routines. People pass the bend where she disappeared without even knowing that a girl was just dragged off. Meredith does not return to the trail. She is gone, taken into the van, and driven away from the Blood Mountain as the sun is still high in the sky. Midday attack. The man drives Meredith away from Blood Mountain in his van, traveling onto rural roads and out of the area. Not long after leaving the mountain, the first objective evidence of his motive appears. Her debit card is used at an ATM in Gainesville. This cracks me up.
Florida?
No, we're still in Georgia. I guess it's Gainesville, Georgia. This is interesting. This like shows so much Meredith. So he puts in the PIN, and the PIN is incorrect, and so like no money's withdrawn.
She told him?
Told him the wrong PIN number. Over the next several hours, this pattern repeats across multiple counties as he's driving through the state.
He's just trying to guess?
I guess he's asking Meredith, and she keeps giving him the wrong PIN. That's so brave.
Yeah. It's probably so he keeps having to try, and they can kind of track her. Maybe she's smart.
She seems really smart. I mean, attempt after attempt is like leads to nothing. And like you said, like you have ATM logs and surveillance timestamps. So like this is creating a clear map of where this guy is going and what he's doing.
Yeah.
Which is wild. Meanwhile, every time he attempts it, it cracks me up. Like he just asks again and like goes to a different ATM, but whatever.
It's kind of crazy that he like kidnapped her and took her from a trail.
Yeah.
It's like a far walk maybe.
Yeah.
Take her back.
I didn't even think about that. Just for an ATM PIN number, like this seems like quite an extreme thing to be doing to try and rob somebody.
Yeah.
Well, meanwhile, her car is still at the trailhead.
I just give him everything.
I know.
Like, all right, I won't tell anyone. I
know, I
promise.
swear. Yeah, for sure.
Or I'd beat him up. I'd probably beat him up.
You think?
Yeah.
I can't tell what I would do. Obviously, we've never been in the situation, but half me is like, okay, am I smart enough to be able to identify what kind of guy this is? Like, if I should be cooperative or put up a fight? Like, I don't think I'm smart enough to determine that.
I don't think so either.
Thank you a lot. That's very nice.
You should just cooperate.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so, well, Meredith, she is a fighter, but it seems like she's, I don't know if this is a strategy or what she's doing. But no one has reported her missing yet. The only activity linked to her is like the repeated use of her bank card. That isn't even working, obviously.
Yeah, it's not going to anyone but her.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's helping anyone be alerted.
True. Right.
Too late.
Yeah. And no one knows to even look for that. Right. Mm-hmm. So by the morning of January 2nd, so it's been a day at this point, Meredith still hasn't returned home. And so she's just graduated college. She lives with a roommate and they're like renting a place. And I guess it's not very uncommon that you just don't see your roommates sometimes. Maybe you just miss them, whatever. But Meredith obviously has a dog. And so by this time, her roommate's getting a little worried that she or the dog hasn't been home. I guess it wasn't uncommon for like if Meredith was going to be out, she would just put Ella in her roommate's bedroom on our way out to like indicate like, hey, can you keep care of the dog for a couple hours or something like that.
That's a good roommate.
Yeah, so it seemed, I'm sure they were like buddies before or something like that. Like,
yeah, BFFs.
Yeah, super BFFs. I don't know, but
I mean, she just likes dogs too.
I mean, I'm sure she's just willing to be helpful and all that stuff. So at this point, she's starting to get later in the afternoon. Still hasn't seen anybody, so she's starting to get worried. And so she inspected their home and found that Meredith's car was still not there. So she went in Meredith's room, and her bed didn't look like it had been slept in. Everything was exactly how it was the day before. So now the idea that they just like accidentally casually miss each other seems more unlikely.
That is unlikely.
You look like you're about to tell me something. You look so excited.
No, I just had a stupid thought.
What?
No, it's nothing to do with this.
Oh, it's like a really stupid thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, her roommate decided to actually contact Meredith's friends and coworkers. She calls coworkers like, hey, did she come to work? They're like, oh, no show. Bad sign.
Bad sign.
Very scary. So the Meredith,
I feel like coworkers always know first when someone's missing.
It's so true.
Because they see you every day.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if I don't see you, I'm like, oh, I guess she's in Utah right now. But if like
no idea
you
what
don't
state
show
I'm in.
up to work, yeah, then it's like, why didn't they show up to work? And then
that's when it starts happening.
Yeah.
Well, true, because that's like an obligation, right? So,
yeah.
And I guess Meredith is known to be like the most reliable structured person.
Of
Like
all
she's
time.
never just like non-showed anything, right? No
Yeah.
showed. So the roommate calls the friends and they're like, we got to figure this out. And so all Meredith's friends come over to the house and they kind of like do their own investigation, which is kind of cool. So they like go through her stuff, which is kind of crazy. And they find this like hiking notebook that Meredith keeps. I don't know, like, if it's her own like personal journal type of thing or if it's just like a catalog. But basically in it, she has highlighted and marked which hike she wants to do. And so they can kind of see like what's already been hiked and what is like on the agenda. So that being said, they're like, okay, these are like the 4 highlighted hikes. Let's split up. We're looking at all these trailheads. So the friend group disperses and they go to all the different trailheads that have been highlighted in her hiking journal. And they covered every approach that she could have gone to start these hikes. At the Reese trailhead, one of her friends found it. It was Meredith's 1995 Chevrolet Cavalier. The car was locked. Inside was Ella's extra leash, some extra camping gear and like hiking gear, and surprisingly, a police-type baton thing that was found nearby. So,
Shocker.
shocker. A shocker for them at the
Yeah.
time. Meredith, however, was nowhere in sight. So they call law enforcement immediately and let them know that they think their friend's missing. She went on a hike yesterday. Her car is there, and she's nowhere to be found. Within hours, deputies, rangers, and search teams, and of course, Meredith's family, are all pulling up to investigate this scene. They coordinate.
Rally the troops.
Yeah, seriously. I can't imagine something more scary. Like an obvious sign that she's like didn't get back to her car after a big hike. Like, is she hurt? Is she on the trail? Did she fall? Like, that's such a scary mindset for the family to be in.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they also like had helicopters get involved, but they were like limited because they had a bunch of like winter winds on the ridge, they said. And so they weren't as helpful. I also wonder if like you have like a canopy of trees, it's kind of hard to see. Maybe winter is more sticks, but so the helicopters weren't very helpful. And by the time the family even got out there, the search teams, it was starting to get dark again. So they were a little late to the search. However, surprisingly, they were like quick to get leads. Mm-hmm. Search teams widened their radius, checking every possible exit. So they were looking for like the unofficial cutoffs, the gaps in the tree line, that forest road. They're looking at all these things, but couldn't find anything that was an obvious sign. There were no distinct tire tracks or footprints that showed direction of a potential abduction, especially because I guess at this time, like the winter ground made it hard because there was no imprints. It's not like it just rained and there was like mud of tire tracks or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So there was nothing indicating like how she would have gotten off this mountain if she did.
Yeah. And there's like, I bet there are things, but like you can't tell if it's
relevant
or not. Like I feel like the forest would be so hard because it's like maybe like a animal like took something that's important or like put something somewhere that wasn't there before, and you don't know if it's relevant to the case or not. Or people are driving all the time in and out, and it's like we don't know what tire marks they have, so we don't know if these tire marks are good or not.
Exactly. You're not looking for like a specific thing yet.
Yeah.
Just anything.
Yeah.
That's so
anything
tough.
Not in the right spot, but it also could just be something else, like an animal.
Yeah, and how many people like leave their water bottle places or lose their sunglasses at random times?
It'd be like bloody shirt or something. That would be like an indication.
Yeah, so at this time, all they really know is that she went hiking. Now she's missing. They think it's an attack. That's all they know.
Because of the scuffle.
The scuffle. Marks. Yeah.
I mean, on the ground.
Yeah, which is like that's crazy too. I wouldn't even think that. But regardless, this is kind of what they're guessing at this point. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, things move actually rather quickly in this case, which is rare and awesome. But investigators were quick to get the community involved. They want to talk to every hiker ever, like the same day.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, same day. So their first step was talk to all the hikers, get any eyewitnesses, that type of thing. Multiple hikers reported seeing this. An older man with a red-haired dog hiking near Meredith at multiple points in the trail, coming and going from the trailhead area. So many reasons why that's weird. I guess it's not weird for a guy to be out walking with his dog, but they thought it was odd that they commonly saw him near her, where they kind of thought maybe they were together hiking. But also they saw him multiple points, which is very uncommon on a hike. Usually you pass him once or twice. Like anytime anybody saw him, he was there with her. So some hikers also recalled that they thought that his car was a white van parked at the trailhead lot because they saw him kind of walking around there, like when they spotted him. So they think that's his car. They're unsure if that's relevant or not, but they're kind of thinking there's an old man in a van. And of course, van is so stereotypical, the scariest thing you could ever have.
Yeah.
So.
And a creepy RV.
Yeah.
There's a creepy RV that parks at the park. That sounds weird.
That does.
Like every day.
What the heck? I've never noticed
Yeah,
that.
it's creepy. It has like towels in the windows and stuff.
What?
I'm like, that
The
thing's up to
same
no
one?
good. Yeah.
Get the license plate just in case something
I will
happens.
when I leave tomorrow.
Yeah, smart. Wow, I've never noticed that. I'm not observant at all, unfortunately.
You're not solving any cases.
I know. I wish I was. Like, I would not be a hiker that was observant of this.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know if they
I
needed
didn't
anyone.
see a single person out there that day.
Yeah.
So, luckily, there's better people than me out there.
Yes, that's true.
While conducting these interviews, they actually collected a lot of photographs. So, any pictures that people took of the hikes, they asked them to send in all photos just to see if there's anything in the background that could be relevant. And that's genius, because one of the pictures, they found something important. They see Meredith's car, of course, and right close by, they see that white van that everyone's thinking might be that older man. And so now they are just kind of suspicious of this guy and his van. And now they have a photo of it. So they immediately go on, be on the lookout for it. While they were going through this van, trying to find out who this was, they were on a hunt for answers. Meanwhile, 60 miles away, another clue was unraveling. Midday on January 3rd, so now the third day she's gone, a woman in Cumming, Georgia, finds a black lab wandering around the Kroger parking lot. She, of course, was like, what the heck is this dog doing? Friendly dog approached her immediately, so she brings the dog to a nearby veterinarian, and they obviously scanned the microchip. Luckily, she has a microchip, and luckily, it's Ella.
We're thankful that Ella has been found, but Meredith is still out there. I appeal to everyone to search their hearts and memories for anything they can remember and do to help us find Meredith.
The discovery shifts the investigation immediately off the mountains. Like, if Ella is 60 miles away, Meredith most likely was taken in a vehicle, and they're thinking that she may still be alive at this point. Detectives begin merging two data streams. So they have the trailhead van photo, placing a white van potentially at the scene, and then now they're recently discovering all these ATM attempts. So, like, we have a missing girl.
We got him.
Yep, we're going into the credit card use, all the phone data. They're going into all that jazz.
Let's go.
So, they're like, we're looking for a van. We're looking for ATM attempts. And so they start following that route. Luckily for us, ATM's got cameras. Unluckily for us, it doesn't show the face.
What does it show?
Like, nothing. It's like, it shows... I don't even know the angle of the camera. I don't have a picture of, like, this specific one. But all it says...
All of them?
I guess. Because they said that there's... Unless he was, like, covering his face of some sort.
Probably was.
It's likely. It's not shown in Meredith's story that he was wearing any sort of mask or anything like that. Maybe a hood. Maybe it was dark. I don't know.
I feel like every time I see those kind of videos, they're always like right here.
Yeah, it's like the worst angle
it's like
ever.
You just wear a hat and you're pretty covered.
Yeah, it's like you get like the lower chin or something.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it seems like. There's definitely cameras, but they weren't able to identify a man from the cameras. However, what they did catch is at the edge of one of the frames, they see that same style of white van pulling away after the ATM usage.
Did they get the license plate?
They did not get the license plate, though.
They should make these cameras better.
I know. You'd think that that's such a big deal because ATM, like, that's like an important thing. You don't want anyone just pulling money out.
I guess it probably just doesn't happen very much. So
I would like to think so. Who knows?
You like to think it does happen more?
But it does not happen often. That's why it hasn't been changed.
Yes.
Regardless, they're like, okay, Bolo's going out for sure on the vehicle. And on January 4th, the next day, while investigators are still piecing together their puzzle, a new call comes in, and one that gives the unidentified man a name.
What's his name?
Well, let me tell you this first. The caller, his name is John. We're just going to call him John.
All right. John is the caller.
John's the caller. He's a Georgia businessman who immediately recognized the suspect's description that was circling around in the news and all the updates and the law enforcement channels. John once employed this man that was now being sought out.
Oh, wow.
He knows his behavior, his habits, and most importantly, his vehicle. John explains that this man's name is Gary Hilton.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, we know Gary. Different Gary Hilton.
Yeah.
He confirms the details of the investigation that have already been discovered. He says that Gary drives a white Chevrolet Astro van, that he hikes with an older reddish Brittany Spaniel dog named Dandy, that he frequents North Georgia's forested areas. And then John adds something that investigators didn't yet know, and that is that Gary Hilton had contacted John on January 1st or 2nd, and in that same window that Meredith disappeared, he called asking urgently for money.
So he's desperate for some money.
Yeah, very interesting, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like...
Let's see what an Astro van looks like again. But keep going.
Look it up. John says that Gary had come to him before when he was desperate, but this time felt different. It felt like Gary's behavior was unstable. He was really stressed, anxious, like just increasingly unpredictable in the weeks even leading up to the call. He tells investigators that Gary talked about needing cash for an emergency, but wouldn't explain why. And so that timeline obviously stops investigators cold. They're like, okay, Gary Hilton's asking for money. You know who's also trying to get money? This suspect that's stealing this ATM or this ATM
keeps trying over and over.
Yeah, again. A guy who must be desperate for money. Right. So then it's like ding, ding, ding in their heads. A match too strong to ignore. John also tells detectives that Gary had recently been living out of his van and he also often was in this like certain region, and so he was at these types of gas stations, yada yada. Like he knew this guy well. Like he's a quick trip guy. Like he knows like what gas station he's using. I know a quick trip guy.
Not me.
So this information narrows down the BOLO to a smaller, more actionable region, like where he usually hangs out. And investigators compare John's details with what they already have, and everything lines up. So this is kind of like the final confirmation they need to be like, okay, we're going after this Gary Hilton guy.
We're going to take Gary Hilton down.
Exactly. So instead of having like a BOLO out, they now have Gary Hilton's name and a precise vehicle description.
They have a Gary Hilton lookout.
Exactly.
Out.
They're on the hunt now for a man. So like what was like an unknown manhunt now is now a man search.
Yeah. Or a stupid head search.
With a name, a vehicle, a dog, and an area to search. That exact day, another woman called in saying that Gary had called her for the first time in years asking for money.
So he's super desperate.
Desperate.
To call random people.
Yeah, she's like I haven't talked to this guy in forever. And she says on the phone to him, hey, actually, don't you know the whole world is looking for you right now? And he's like, boop, hangs up immediately. Not another word.
She's not very smart.
I was like, girl, why would you say that? Now he's going to run.
Yeah.
But that cracks me up.
Also,
like,
how does he not know?
Call? What?
How does he not know?
He must not be watching the news. He's living out his van.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah. But that cracks me up because I was like, honey, like, you should, Gary Hilton's calling me. They're actually looking for this guy. I'm going to answer this call.
Yeah, come over. I'll give you some money. Call the cops.
Exactly.
Easy.
We're so smart.
Yeah.
Well, so that happened the exact same day. And because they know like where he's been because of his ATM attempts, they start searching the surrounding area and actually come across a dumpster behind, I believe it was a Quick Trip, honestly, QT.
No way.
I think it was a QT.
In Georgia?
That's why I thought, look it up because it showed, I saw some crime scene photos and a Quick Trip was in the photos. So I don't know if that's exactly where these items are found. But what they find...
He's scary looking.
Yeah. What they find is woman's items seemingly covered in blood in the dumpster behind that gas station. And they knew they were obviously getting close.
Looks like there are Quick Trips in Georgia.
You're like, no way.
I can move to Georgia now.
As long as there's a QT, huh?
Yeah. It's the only reason I survived in Des Moines.
That's hilarious.
One thing I can say about QT employees, they are hard workers, and like the guy that is in the QT nearby, he's been there since at QT for like 20 years. His thing says like 2005, I think.
No way.
Yeah.
Are you friends with him?
Not really. He just knows that I go in every day.
You're such a regular. You need to befriend these people.
Well, we're friendly, but they switch them a lot, except for that guy.
Oh, really?
Normally like one
I feel
time
like I know who you're talking about.
I was in Phoenix, just got off a trip, landed, went to QT, and there was a guy from the RQT working at that one. He's like, "Hey, man." I'm like,
no
"Oh, hey."
Way.
I'm like, "They moved you out here?" And he's like, "Yeah, they moved me out here recently."
That's hilarious.
It's way closer, which is nice. I was like, "Whoa, that's wild."
You're like, what are the chances?
Yeah.
Anyways, ready for me to carry on?
Carry on.
Because this is where it gets extra crazy.
Ooh.
Because then a call came in again later in that same day. So this all happened on the 4th. It was like that morning we had the tipster John saying, "Oh, that's Gary." Then the lady's like, "Oh, Gary called me." And now we have another call coming in. This is around 7:30ish p.m. on January 4th. A call comes in from a gas station in Forsyth County. And here's that 911 call.
Okay, 911, what's the exact location?
I have the person of interest in that missing woman case is at this Chevron gas station on Ashford Dunwoody.
Chevron gas station in Ashford Dunwoody?
Yeah.
You said the van is there?
The van is here. The dog is here, the red dog, and I saw the man's face, and I've been watching the news, and I know it's him. He's got a green long sleeve sweatshirt, and he's wearing a hat, and he's emptying all this stuff out of his van. Pillows and a blanket, and it looks like he's got a sleeping bag right now. Taking it all to the trash. It's definitely
And the dumpster is
looking around like he is as guilty as sin. I can go take him down if you want.
No, sir. Stay right there.
Okay. Oh, I'm just shaking. You guys, is there somebody en route?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Here comes the cops. Yes.
You sleep there?
Yes. Yes. They got him.
They got him?
I mean, they don't have him yet, but they're getting out. Oh, they got him now. Here, 2 cruisers hold up on him. 2 of the cab's finest.
So police get to the scene fast. When the first patrol car rolls up, the man is still there. He's older, thin, wiry, wearing a cap, moving quickly between an open van door and a trash bin.
Wow.
The reddish dog is still inside the vehicle. He matches description literally to the T. Everything is checkmarked. So deputies kind of approach carefully. They don't want him to, run. And they don't know where Meredith is and if she's alive. So they don't want to, scare him in any way. They begin asking questions. Where he's coming from, where he's going, why he's cleaning the van, all the basic things, just trying to get a scoop on this guy.
Yeah.
He cannot account for any of his movements.
Yeah, he's like, oh, freak.
He's a great question.
I was just looking for money everywhere.
Yeah. I'm just so desperate for money, it's crazy. But when they question Gary, he's like, "Oh, yeah, sorry, I don't know where I've been actually the last few days. And also, I don't know what any of those items in the dumpster are either." Yeah. He's like, "This trash can right here? Not me."
I did not put all of this stuff in there.
You see everything? Yeah, that wasn't me. That's not my doing. So the deputy's like, "Okay, yeah, right." And they detain him right away. Mm-hmm. They check in that trash can that he was, right by at the gas station. And inside they find items that immediately escalate the situation. Bloodstained clothes, women's personal items, and objects linking directly to Meredith's disappearance.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this question, but did he really say that? Or did they look in there and then he said, "Those aren't his"?
I don't know the answer. I was just like...
I was like, that's hilarious. If he is like... He's like, "Those aren't mine." And they look over and like, "Wait, that's actually important."
Yeah.
We need to get those.
No, I think he denied everything in the beginning and he shut down with questions. He didn't answer anyone's. Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, he was probably more like, "I don't know anything. I don't know anything." You know?
And they probably knew that stuff was there because the guy said that he was emptying stuff.
Right. So this is now more than a missing persons investigation. This is evidence of violence and of deliberate disposal. So now they're getting worried because the family up to this point is having faith that, maybe it was a kidnapping. Deputies secure the scene and take him into custody, and the man is transported for questioning. The van is impounded, the dumpster is sealed off, logged as evidence, and investigators now have his identity, his vehicle, his dog, physical possessions, and a rising likelihood that he knew where Meredith was. So they got to get him to talk. And with him finally detained, the timeline begins to close in and kind of make sense. He decided, though, he was only going to talk if he made a deal. He wanted no death penalty. And
that just makes it like, yeah, I will make a deal with you. And they're like, okay. He's like, I don't want the death penalty. And they're like, so you killed her?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, got you for that. Yeah, next.
But you can't prove like that. But
right, obviously, which is so annoying.
At least the cops know, like, all right, we got our guy. Yeah. We'll just have to negotiate a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Because what innocent person's like, death's off the table.
Yeah.
I didn't do this.
I can see, like, if you were accused of something and, like, there's, like, they're taking you to court, you can, like, all right, there's no way I'm getting out of this.
Yeah.
So I'll just say I did it, and I'll take 2 years instead of 20 years.
So what? Oh gosh, what is it called? When you
plea
like
deal?
What?
What were you gonna say?
Yeah, plea deal. But when you're not guilty or innocent, you plead.
No contest.
No contest. That's what it's called. I kept trying to say a test, and I knew that wasn't right.
Pleading no contest, meaning accepting the conviction but avoiding a factual admission of guilt. Mm-hmm. So it's like, all right, you guys convicted me of this, but I didn't do it.
Exactly. Still trying to claim their innocence, even though they're taking the punishment. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of not what Gary's doing. Gary's like, I want a plea deal I want a deal that I don't get death, but I will tell you everything that happened. And it actually worked. So he got his deal. And then the only thing left is he needed to confess and tell him where Meredith was.
You would go down that road about 50 yards. It's covered by leaves and brush, but not very.
Okay. Is it wrapped in anything?
No, it isn't.
Is it intact?
No, it isn't.
Okay.
I'll tell you.
More about that?
Okay. Yes, the head will be missing.
Where's the head?
The only reason, by the way, the head was removed was forensically.
As we know from police efforts, after forcing Meredith into his van and leaving Blood Mountain, Gary Hilton drove south, stopping at several ATMs across North Georgia. He tried the number she gave him, but none of the pins worked.
Does he ever tell us why he needed money so bad?
No, he just wouldn't work. He's like homeless.
Oh.
Yeah. So he himself is like, by the way, I'm a loser, and I've never been able to hold a job. Right, great. So
well, he's a sociopath.
Yeah, he's pretty messed up.
So it's hard to probably hold a job.
True. So little did he know the exact locations and timestamps would later help investigators reconstruct his whole route. He wasn't even thinking about that. He's like, I'm just going to keep trying and also keep failing with that PIN number. Because he kept going, not knowing. They're like, oh, now that we have all this information, we can track him. So he's done for that too. But once he realized that Meredith wouldn't give him the correct PIN, Gary settled into routine. He kept the van moving during the day, then turned off onto back roads, wooded pull-offs, empty lots at night, and Meredith remained alive and restrained inside his van by chains during this time.
Jeez.
He kept her alive with the hope that maybe one time she'll give him the correct PIN.
That's wild.
It's insane. At some point early on January 2nd, after she was missing for about 24 hours, Gary abandoned Ella, the dog, in the Kroger parking lot that we know of. He later said that he deliberately did that because he wanted the dog to be found and cared for. Like, then he was going to continue traveling with Meredith. He's like, oh yeah, I'm actually a sucker for dogs. So, like, hopefully somebody finds Ella and gives her a good home. Like, what a freak.
Yeah.
So he continues traveling with Meredith. He then says that Meredith asked him to let her go. She asked him not to hurt her. And Gary admitted later that she actually complied with everything he asked. But he only kept her alive long enough to be able to try and get that correct PIN number, which seems like a lot of work for a little bit of money. Does not seem worth it, in my opinion, obviously. So by January 3rd, Gary Hilton had driven into the Dawson Forest Wildlife Management Area, a heavily wooded, remote section of North Georgia, where he had camped many times before. And like I said, he's kind of a loner, homeless type. So he would spend, like, days in the woods. Like, he was very much a National Forest regular guy. Here, he stopped the van deeper in the forest and led Meredith out of the vehicle. This is the part that Gary went into extra detail about. He walked her into the woods away from the van and secured her to a tree using a chain. So now she's stuck to a tree. He left her there while he returned to the van to collect supplies, telling her he needed time to think. He stayed in the area for hours. Gary admitted that during this time, he debated what to do next. Like, he said he knew by then she would never give him her PIN number. She is so brave.
Yeah.
A lot of people accredit her to saving other people for, like, taking all this time for Gary.
I feel like I would have been like, all right, I'll give you the PIN,
Yeah, trying to make a deal.
But
here's our plan.
You have to let me go.
Yeah. And I'm sure she tried something.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
I mean, he's probably just like, there's no way I can let her go because
of what he's already done.
You've seen me.
Right. No matter how much money, it's like he's going to jail, at least, at the very minimum. He also knew, like he said, she couldn't like just be released. And so as evening approached on January 3rd, Gary returned to where she was chained. He carried a different baton type tool. So he left one in the parking lot and he had
weapon
another.
Of choice.
Yeah, evidently. Creepy.
Yeah, I didn't mean to laugh, but that was...
Well, it's just such a weird thing.
Yeah, it's a weird weapon.
Yeah. And Gary admitted he told her he was sorry before beating her to death.
Jeez.
Yeah. The autopsy later confirmed blunt force trauma to the head was the cause of death. And afterward, Gary attempted to conceal her identity to delay the discovery. He removed her head and placed both the remains and the murder weapon deeper inside Dawson Forest, covering them with leaves and brush. It's so sick. Mm-hmm. On January 4th, Hilton left Dawson Forest and began driving again. His goal, according to his own statements, was to clean the van, get rid of evidence, and leave the state. I'm like, you probably should have done it in a different order. Leave the state, then clean the van. Because he's like down the street when the cops roll up. And that's when he went to multiple gas stations that day, dropping off different evidence. And that's when they found the evidence in the dumpster. Mm-hmm. And then eventually getting caught at around 7:40 from the 911 call. That got him. So, of course, he was charged immediately. From the top of our story, in the introduction, I told you how they were led to a exact location. And this is when Gary finally led investigators to Meredith's remains in that forest. The case shifted instantly from a search operation to a homicide prosecution. With the recovery complete, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation finalized the timeline, and it matched perfectly with Gary's confession. It seemed like he was telling the truth about the timeline.
I feel like that's kind of rare.
Yeah, I agree.
There's always serial killers that, make up things or make their numbers way inflated and claim a bunch of different murders just for no reason.
Yeah.
Just to mess with cops and I
think they want to be in the news and stuff a lot too.
Narcissists
too.
Narcissists.
Yeah. Hilton was charged with kidnapping with bodily injury, murder, theft, and financial crimes connected to the ATM use, and concealment of a death. In January of 2008, so this is so fast. January 2008. She was kidnapped January 2008.
Mm-hmm. First.
Well, the first. I said January 2008.
Yeah.
So,
She was kidnapped January 2008.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I was thinking January 8th.
I knew you were going to say that. So, it went quick. Gary Hilton stood in a Georgia courtroom and pleaded guilty to Meredith Emerson's murder. The judge sentenced him to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years.
Why?
That's what I said. It was a sentence that Georgia prosecutors knew he would never outlive
old.
it. Yeah, he's 60 when he was charged. But I'm still.
Just in
let's
case.
give him the max thing you can.
Yeah, and no parole.
Yeah, no parole. Especially, wildly enough, years before the murders, Gary Hilton was actually arrested when I think he was just 14, if I remember correctly, for attempting to kill his stepfather, William or Bill Post, by shooting him in the hallway of their own home.
Dang. I'm sure he's killed more people.
Yeah. Bill survived, and Gary ultimately pled guilty, actually, to the aggravated assault, and he was arrested for a time before going into the military or something, which I'm like, wait, you can do that?
That's what I'm like, that's spooky.
Yeah, I know. But I guess if you're a killer, you put him in the military. It's a good place for them to be. But investigators later noted that the case as the first, that case, him shooting his stepfather, was the first clear indicator of Gary Hilton's capacity for sudden, unprovoked violence. And another reason why I personally think that he should have it without parole. I'm he was 14 years old doing this. Now he's 60. Obviously, he's got issues. He has not fixed his ways.
Yeah.
But prosecutors knew something else that we didn't know at the time. Gary Hilton wasn't done facing consequences because while Georgia agreed not to take the death penalty, Florida had not made that same promise. And neither had North Carolina. And those states were already watching the case unfold. When the Georgia courtroom emptied, the legal battles in other states were just beginning. So let me tell you this. As soon as Gary Hilton was sentenced in Georgia, detectives from multiple states were like, oh, Perfect. That matches the pattern of several unsolved cases across the southeastern United States. Yeah.
You know what?
Tell me.
It would be nice if like they could all just join together, try them once, get them for everything, or if like one state doesn't get successful, then the other state can try, so that they don't waste so many tax dollars, even though the guy's already in prison forever.
That's true. I have seen that though. Like they intentionally separate cases for the purpose that at least one trial they'll win and get the death penalty. So I'm sure that has to be a factor. Like they for sure want him like the death penalty or at least behind bars.
Yeah.
That happened with the case that we talked about with the family, that the two men murdered an entire family, and they charged the guys for the rest of the family, and then the daughter was a separate trial.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I think that happens for that reason, but in this case, it worked out perfect because like death penalty is not on the table in our case.
Yeah, Florida
is hardcore.
Yeah,
I like that about them. So let me tell you about these stories. In October 2007, John or Jack, his nickname is Jack Bryant, 80 years old, and his wife Irene Bryant, 84, drove to Pisgah, I think that's how you say it, I don't know, National Forest for a day hike. They were experienced hikers, and they knew the trails well, and when their family hadn't heard from them in days, the search began. Their vehicle was found near a trail access, and weeks later, searchers located Irene's body on the Barnett Branch Trail, covered with leaves. She had been killed by blunt force trauma to the head. Sound familiar? Around the same time, someone used the Bryant's bank card at an ATM in Ducktown, Tennessee.
Yeah, this guy would just rather kill people and take their debit cards.
Exactly. The camera captured an older man whose face was obscured by a hood. So I'm like, you should not be able to just use a hood and not be seen at an ATM. They need like a mirror on the keyboard so the camera like reflects and you can see their face.
Yeah, or just like right there, like.
Yeah, I feel like checking out a self-checkout, they have a clear visual of what you look like.
Yeah.
For months, though, John remained missing, her husband. In February of 2008, a hunter in a different national forest found skeletal remains off a remote Forest Service road known as the Switchbacks, and they identified as John Bryant. So evidence in later admissions from Gary Hilton established that he attacked the couple on the trail, killed Irene there, then kidnapped John to obtain his pin before shooting him and dumping the body. Hilton ultimately pled guilty in federal court to the Bryant's kidnapping, robbery, and murders, and received multiple life sentences on top of his existing time.
Good.
Then, 2 months after that, in October, that was October 2007. 2 months later, in December 2007, 46-year-old nurse and Sunday school teacher Cheryl Hodges Dunlap drove out to the Leon Sinks geological area in Florida's Appalachian National Forest, a place she often went to hike and read. She was seen on the trail that afternoon sitting alone on the boardwalk bench with a book before she got up and walked away, and she never made it home.
Imagine being that businessman and knowing this guy and then hearing that he's killed like tons of people.
Sickening. Like, I wonder if he had any indication, because I feel like
he sounded like he kind of was suspicious of the guy.
That's what I was about to say. Is like, if I saw all these details of like a potential suspect, I feel like your mind naturally is like, no, I don't know the guy. Like, even if this guy fits, you're like, no, it couldn't be him.
Creepy. It definitely is him.
Yeah, and like, but he was like, oh, that's Gary.
Yeah.
If I know anything, that's Gary.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that'd be freaky just knowing that you know him. And so her car was later found abandoned in the days following. Someone had used her ATM card multiple times in Tallahassee. And surveillance images showed a figure in a hat, glasses, and a crude mask made of tape.
That's what I saw. That one was creepy.
Making withdrawals that required her PIN. That's what I was saying, that like that mask, it wasn't used in the Meredith case. And according to sources, some say that isn't even Gary Hilton's picture that has the tape. We'll have it up so you can see. But it's used for every Gary Hilton crime photo ever. So I don't know why some people say it's not, but regardless, it seems like it's the same type of mask, which is absolutely terrifying. So creepy.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. On December 16th, the hunter discovered a decapitated body in that national forest, and DNA confirmed it was Cheryl. So because of Meredith, these other cases were finally able to have closure. Because Meredith happened in January 2008. So both these cases happened before Meredith was ever taken. because of her, those cases were able to close. Gary Hilton ultimately pled guilty in federal court to the Bryant kidnapping, the first couple, robbery and murders, and received multiple life sentences. And then later, investigators and forensic evidence actually tied him to Cheryl's killing as well, who had been camping in the area and matched witness descriptions and the ATM footage. So Gary Hilton, eventually tried in Florida, was convicted of Cheryl's kidnapping and murder, and finally was sentenced to death. Florida did it. They charged him to death. So he had multiple accounts. He's obviously 4 people that we know of facts that he murdered in national parks. Mm-hmm. Investigators and profiles have publicly linked Gary Hilton's movement and MO to several unsolved cases involving hikers and travelers. Those include Judy Smith. Bones were found in Pisgah National Forest in 1997. Jason Knapp disappeared in 1998. His car was found at Table Rock State Park. Rosanna Miliani went missing in 2005 after talking about hiking the Appalachian Trail. And Michael Scott Lewis, 27, went missing in 2007. Dismembered remains later found in Florida's Tomoka River. So those are not confirmed. A lot of people have high suspicion that he's way more involved. But the 4 victims we talked about are confirmed.
Yeah. Convicted.
And convicted, exactly. And so you're right on when you're like, this guy seems like a serial killer from the start.
Yeah.
Law enforcement has not charged Gary Hilton with those cases, like I said. But he is so gross. He's done one interview with CrimeTV. And it is chilling. So if that interests you, that's on CrimeTV.
Should we put it up?
We're going to put it up. And he prides himself in this like monster that he is. And you can tell in this clip.
Yeah. You have a moniker, the National Forest Serial Killer.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I think I prefer the Beast of Blood Mountain.
A killer perversely proud of his crimes.
I set the record. I'm the oldest serial killer in American history. Isn't that amazing?
Obviously, this man is sick. Something's messed up with him. All right. So, he's disgusting. And so, what did you guess that was going to happen in today's story?
I think this is Gary Hilton. And
what?
I'm just kidding.
I was like, how did you know a name? Wait, you tricked me. I don't know why that actually worked. That should not have worked.
I think there is a bad guy hiding out on the trails who is basically like a convict.
Oh, like already, yeah, okay.
Yeah, guy who's like
released from
hiding,
jail.
hiding out. Yeah, basically hiding out there, and she found him and he killed her.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I was way wrong.
Well, you're pretty close. I mean,
I've heard the Appalachian Trail has like a lot of like criminals like.
I mean,
on
it's
it,
huge.
Yeah, because like they just go there because they're just hiking and no one can find them. Like I heard a case of like this guy who was in trouble for fraud, and so he just went on the Appalachian Trail and disappeared, and people like see him, but they never knew his real name. Well, he's for fraud. Like he's not a violent guy.
Yeah, but still
everyone
creepy.
said he was super nice.
That's so funny. He's super nice. He's like, hey. He's like, they on me yet?
Yeah, I forget his name.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good guess. I mean, it seems like a lot of people hide out there, first of all. One thing I didn't expect this case to go is to him just being desperate for money. The fact that he had basically the same MO, trying to steal everyone's ATM information, was, like, I think what kind of set this case a little bit apart. But Meredith Emerson's story didn't just bring answers to her own disappearance. As we know, it exposed a violent pattern operating quietly across 3 states, and it helped stop a predator who had been using America's forests as hunting grounds for years. Because of Meredith's fight on the mountain, because she resisted and left evidence behind, investigators were able to uncover connections that had been hiding in plain sight. And as each state stepped forward, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, they gave names and dignity back to the victims who could no longer speak for themselves. Cheryl Dunlap, John Bryant, Irene Bryant, and finally Meredith. These were real people with real families, real routines, real hopes that they were carrying into the days they disappeared. They weren't defined by what happened to them. They were hikers, teachers, nurses, parents, adventurers, and each of them deserved to come home. Because of the work across agencies, and because Meredith's case broke the silence around his pattern, Gary Michael Hilton will never walk free again. His crime stopped permanently because one woman fought with everything she had. And in honoring her courage, we also honor the others whose lives were also stolen by this man. And this is a story of Meredith Emerson and Gary Hilton, the self-proclaimed beast of Blood Mountain.
You.
And that's disgusting. I'm like, you narcissistic son of a gun. Mm-hmm. But it's just crazy. I love that it's like so sad because she's in martial arts. She seems like a tough, strong fighter girl. And still, these men are just like so scary. And like, no matter how prepared you are never prepared enough.
Yeah.
So I'm going to carry a gun.
Yep. True.
Anyways, tell me.
All right. So for true crime news, the highlights of this month or week.
Okay.
The
highlights is a wild name.
I know. It's just that's what ChatGPT said.
The emphasis.
Yeah. So this comes from the New York Post, AP News, and People.com.
Okay.
The first one is homicide aboard a cruise ship. And you've seen this TikTok probably.
Yeah.
So, the death of 18-year-old Anna Kepner from Florida while aboard the Carnival Horizon has been ruled a homicide. Mechanical asphyxia. Someone cut off her airflow. That's what it's called. She was in the cabin with a 16-year-old stepbrother, one of the suspects, according to court doctors. No signs of sexual assault or drugs in her system.
That is
and
weird.
We saw some TikToks of them doing stuff together, like TikToks together, and they seem like friends.
Yeah, that's what I
really
thought was weird too, because they seem like they were like buddies. Like, it didn't seem like there should be any reason why he would be involved, but that's really disturbing.
Yeah.
And I
it's
saw
just
that
so complex because it's
did it say how she
international
was
waters.
found?
No.
I think she was found under her bed with a life vest on her and wrapped up.
That's weird.
Yeah, really weird. So it seems like, to me, that seems like maybe a guilty conscience or doesn't want to get caught or some sort, but so disturbing. And so I actually heard that first from my brother-in-law saying that his sister-in-law on the other side of the family, obviously, they were going on a cruise, and they were the cruise after this. Like, they're going on a cruise this week after this. She said that they're going on a carnival, and they were confused because, like, boarding was delayed, and she saw a lot of FBI agents and stuff. Dang. And then later found out that someone had died on the trip right before hers. I'm like, that is so creepy. Like, the fact that they probably just cleaned that up, it's going right back out. Like, I hate that.
Or maybe they used a different one.
I hope. Because, like, I mean, you can't have a good crime scene and evidence if you're just going to send the whole ship right back out. So I don't know what ended up happening, but that's pretty wild.
Yeah. All right, this one. Husband kills wife, then digs up her body.
Ew.
Yeah.
People are weird.
Yeah. Zabab Ali, 28, California. Victim, Rachel Castillo, 25. Ali admitted to murdering his estranged wife during their divorce. He buried her body in a shallow grave, then came back later and did bad things to it. He has been convicted of first-degree murder and is sentencing January 12th, 2026.
All right, well, I have to keep up on that one because I want that guy to go away forever.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Rising singer killed in LA ambush.
What the?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that.
Maria de la Rosa, 22. Her stage name was De La Rosa.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
De La Rosa. Really?
Yeah, kind of. Go ahead. Tell me more.
Northridge, Los Angeles. She was sitting in a parked car with two others when two gunmen walked up and opened fire. Maria died at the hospital. The other victims remain in critical condition. No arrests yet are made. Motive is still unknown.
Weird.
Yeah, I kind of want to follow this
one. Did it say how long ago that happened?
It did not, but I can look it up.
That sounds really familiar for some reason, but maybe I was looking at a different case from a long time ago. So if that's like a current thing, I must not be familiar. But yeah, you should follow that one along with the David with the 4 in his name, because evidently things are getting spicy with that one.
So this one, 1:25 a.m. Saturday, November 22nd, 2025.
Yeah, just like last week.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
That one is crazy.
Okay, well, keep your eyes on it because I
They
want an
didn't even
update.
say they were robbing her or anything.
That's so weird.
I wonder if there's like some gang connect or drug or cartel or something.
Yeah, who knows? Or like jealousy competition type of stuff.
Yeah. But
With
yeah.
girls, you never know.
Yeah.
Wow, crazy.
So those are all news from other news channels.
What a wild week of true crime.
Of allegeds.
Well, before we go, Ohio State.
Yep. So this week we're playing the team up north.
Yep.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm. That we hate.
We hate. We played Rutgers last week. Beat them. Our 2 star receivers didn't play. They're resting them up because they've been a little beat up. Hopefully both of them play. A lot of people are worried that Carnell Tate won't play, but I have faith they both will. They started a lot of seniors too, so because of senior night. So
makes sense.
It was a little clunky, but we still covered the spread, so we still played decent, and I think we're all focused, ready to beat up
the other team.
Yeah.
Saturday's game.
Yeah.
I like it.
If I post a little bit too much about it, it's just because I'm excited. It's just just excitement.
We'll be posting on Siblings in Crime too.
Yeah.
I imagine.
We better.
All right, sweet. Well, that is our case for this week. We'll be back next week with another episode of Siblings in Crime.
Adios.
Adios.